Hello. So we are here with Mighty Endeavor again, and we are moving on to turn 3. We have to remove beach port 3 as our first order business, and there's a big heap of German reinforcements, some of them pretty strong, like SS units and stuff. But in the meantime, we got to get rid of 3, which I believe is here underneath the British. Yep. Okay, so we lose that beach port. That is extremely unfortunate, but there you go. All right. Oops. There we go. Next up, we do our reinforcement replacement phase. There's no reinforcements for the Allies. There is one American replacement, which I think we're just going to spend over here on one of these American infantry units. Maybe we'll just do the 2nd Division. Oops. I'm sorry, I'm slightly uncoordinated because I'm doing all this looking at the camera instead of the actual board. Because I was doing that last time and some of the shots were a little awkward because of that. Anyway. Okay, air points phase. Let's roll for air points. Roll a 5, which gives us 4 air points. Not many to work with, but that's okay. So 4 air points. How are we gonna spend Arizona? I mean, we're definitely gonna need to spend 1 here just because we need to do as much as we can to get some airstrikes in there. I want to push in the south with the French, which we might need an airstrike. I didn't do the math yet, but we may need an airstrike to try to help break through the line there. I'm not sure about that yet. We're definitely going to make at least 1 attack here. Maybe probably 2, so we need 2. I think I'm going to have to forego using airstrikes in the south, so we're just going to establish domination of Air Zone 1 so that we can possibly use up to 3 airstrikes for the combat phase here. Okay, next up, invasion placement. I was thinking about landing the Canadians down near Bordeaux, but this is still a really strong. This is a really strong unit that have to be attacking over a river. It's just, and it's a city, so I think that's a times 2 or 3 to defense value, times 3. So it would just end up bogging down with this unit here. So we really can't afford to land the Canadians. Just the Canadians down there. If we relied on Canadians and extra Americans, if we don't have an extra HQ, so we really can't afford it. But if we were to do that, we might have a shot. But I don't think I'm going to be able to do that anyway, just because I'm going to have to use. I'm almost surely right now going to have to use another port to keep this stuff open, because we're going to lose both of these ports next turn. So I'm probably going to have to do another invasion in Normandy just to keep this stuff open for supply. I'm not sure. I may have to and it really sucks. Like, it really fucking sucks to have to do this. I may have to land I may have to land like maybe over here. And if I do that, I'm probably gonna have to bring an American truck in, because we need these. So these trucks here are for basically just extending supply lines. I may have to bring in a truck just to keep the supply able to flow from there to there. This is really, really annoying. Because I can't rely that Cherbourg will start up next turn. It might, but if I take it. But it's no guarantee, and I can't – 'rely on that. So I think I'm going to have to just do that? I don't, because I can't re-land here. I don't believe so. Otherwise I would, but I don't think that's viable. Yeah. Right. Beach ports to invade anyone on the coast. There are restrictions. Right. 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 So it doesn't say anything about not being able to land with friendly units on there. I'm really not exactly sure how to play that. Because, I mean, technically there's no... there wouldn't technically be any beach defenses left. So I don't really know how to simulate that, you know? Do I still roll as if there were to take damage? Maybe that counts as a storm or something? I'm really not sure how to game that part. The other option, I suppose, it's only a 0 hex, because that was still south of the Seine, so it wouldn't trigger it wouldn't negate the Paris defense rule, but that's, you know, that's a terrible hex too. That's a 0 class, which is, I think, just one. It's just 1, 1, and 1. So, you know, and it doesn't necessarily solve the problem. I'd have to. That will only work. I'd have to try to break through this hex on that turn in order to get through. Which, I mean, is probably possible. It's just a forest, so I'd be fighting at a 14. If I'm pushing from that direction, I'd basically be able to avoid the river. Still have to fight through that. That would be a huge risk. So if I invaded, I'd have to go with this would be a 5, so I'd only be fighting on a... Oh, well, no, I roll on the special chart, so it's a clear, so I have a good chance of just forcing that out. Really, it's just a clear hex. But if I do get a bad roll, it might mean the invasion completely fails and I just lose a unit. This is I don't lose the beach port though. At least not from that. But but they could easily counterattack. So no, because it's too dangerous. Even with a follow-on, it's clear terrain. They'll just get destroyed in the counterattack. It's not worth doing. This is a really difficult decision. Okay. I am going to play this as they still have to roll to land on the beach here. But I'm only gonna count it as, well, I'll roll as a 3, but in terms of I'm not gonna give them their full unit drop for the invasion, because I really don't know what to do in this situation, and I don't recall anything when I redid the rules earlier last time about this funky idea. So I'm gonna prepare. Okay, let's prepare. So I'll do the 2 it'll be less follow on is basically what I'm gonna do for it. The beach board 5. I'm just gonna do 2 points of follow on instead, I think. Maybe even just 1 point of follow on, to be honest. Oh, there's a 6 there. I think just 1 point of follow on, even then, because, yeah. Okay, let's roll it. Roll a 5 on the 2 to 1. A2. Okay, so each of them is taking a hit, and then we put everything over there. And then the beach port 4. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right. That should hopefully keep us in supply on both sides here until the end of that phase. So let me get the. So these are the only 2 units that'll be able to move. I don't think I'm gonna launch any attacks with the British this round, actually. I think I'm just gonna be moving. So let's go to the attack HQ announcement. I don't think I'm gonna move. I don't think I'm gonna attack with the Brits. I'm just gonna move. So we're not gonna do that, but the American HQ will flip to its attack position. Okay. No, but the Brits actually, I take that back because they may want to hit. This is clear terrain. I take that back. The Brits are going to go to attack position. And I think the French will as well. So the rough terrain only ×2, so let's get there. Okay. Gotta put the, there you go. Okay. They have defensive 3, that'll be good enough. All right. Now I'm gonna move on to the movement phase, but I am going to cut here because I got a lot to kind of do. This is probably an increase in bit. So from this point on, I'm just gonna cut out the movement phase and probably most of the combat, unless it's a really significant one. So like I'll roll for Cherbourg on camera. Depending on how this works out, I'll roll probably for at least one thing over here. But from regardless of whose turn I'm doing, apart from what I think are going to end up being decisive or major engagements, I'm just gonna kind of skip over that and do more of a here's the end turn, or kind of look, maybe end of the Allied phase, into the German phase, that sort of thing. Yeah, so that's gonna be it. So I'll back in a sec. Okay, I have moved all of the Allied forces, getting ready to attack. I'm gonna film Cherbourg first, and then I'll do this one over here right after that, and then I'm just gonna resolve the rest off camera. The Cherbourg is gonna be a 2 to 1. I'm gonna spend an air point to make it 3 to 1. And they're in a fortress, so they're ignoring retreat results. And we got a 10. Okay, finally a good roll. 10. Okay. I think that was the first really good roll since the landings. Okay, so we got defender 2 hits and 2 retreat. We ignore the retreat, so 2 hits on the defenders. So that's gonna. I guess technically the best one to do here is just remove the garrison, and we'll take the 1 hit, on that guy. And with that, Cherbourg still holds, but we're getting closer. And okay, next up, let's do this one over here with the British. This is probably gonna be the last attack they'll be able to make for a bit here, because we're gonna have a problem here where the only port we're going to have in Normandy is going to be the number 5, which means we can only support 1 attack HQ per port. So let's see how much damage the Brits can do here. So it's clear terrain. The defense value is 16. Okay. The attack value is, let's see what we got. 19, excuse me, 18. I'm looking at the 9. 18 plus 6, so 24, 30, 36, 42. So 42 to 18 is 2 to 1 is our best results we can get on that, and we will spend a point for the shift. So we're 3 to 1. No terrain to help the effect here on them. And we roll a 4. That's not great. 4 on a 3 to 1 is attacker 2, defender 1. All right, yeah. Okay, so attacker 2, we're just going to take hits on these infantry. I mean, it's okay for the moment, and I guess the 17th SS will take the hit. There was no retreats on that, so they still hold ground. Oh, that's unfortunate. I was hoping for a good roll on that, but that's what we got. Okay, everything else I'm going to do off camera, and probably just going to do the Germans off camera too, because I don't want to keep turning this on and off and blah, blah, blah. So we'll go from there. All right, update on the end of this turn 3. So obviously we saw the attack on Cherbourg and the fight over here. The Americans managed to push out the Fallschirmjäger and out of the, what's that space, Granville, and they backed up into Avaranches, however you say that, with the 275th. They were then hit by an overrun attack by the 6th and 2nd Armored Divisions, who took a hit, but with air support pretty much finished off the Fallschirmjäger and damaged the 275th, who had to retreat back, and then on the German moved to a more defensible position to try to do something. Meanwhile, lots of stuff moved up to form new defense positions. The 352nd and 77th German infantry divisions pulled back because they were in danger of potentially being surrounded. And they've now formed up next to the 2nd SS Panzer Division to form a stronger line to try to contain the Americans a bit. There was another attack on Caen by lots of German armor and mechanized units. And as we can also see here, lots of stuff moved over closer. They successfully damaged the last undamaged paratrooper unit in there, less airborne, but they took some damage on their armor. So a wash, but overall that's becoming a very weak space, and the Brits are going to have to get some more soldiers in there to kind of stiffen Caen a bit. Let's see, and then also down here in the south, it was an exchange 1-1. So the garrison division, or I don't even think it's a division, they might just be brigades. I guess they call them whatever. The garrisons that were on here on Toulon with the Panzers was destroyed, and the 4th Mountain Division took a hit. But that's pretty much it. More reinforcements coming in on those ports before they're gone. Over here, 2 more armor units to help hopefully push south and continue this breakout, and maybe try to swing into Brittany or something else. But either way, it's getting a little tense though. With this supply situation, is going to be kind of scary. But hopefully Cherbourg will fall. Cherbourg should fall next turn. The rest of these Americans will be able to move down south to help push along the south. And that's pretty much all we got going on. Lots of German reinforcements are pushing in, coming in. Some of the faster ones are already getting close past Paris. So they're probably going to be pushing in here, and they're going to be applying a lot of pressure onto the British positions, partly because there's also just not a lot of replacements for them in general, although more will be showing up starting next turn. They'll be able to slowly kind of help breach themselves, but Either way, the Germans are going to be doing that, and then probably having to make another line kind of more down here to, if the Americans are able to break out more substantially, then they're going to have a problem here, being outflanked, and that'll relieve some pressure for that, which is similar-ish to how it happened historically, so that'll be pretty intriguing. Yeah, that's the end of turn 3 of the Mighty Endeavor.